recording. Thank you everyone for joining us for the monthly ANC 6E meeting, and apologies for the delay. I will start with the call to order. 6E01 is vacant. 6E02, I do not see Commissioner Watts. If you're on the line, please raise your hand. Commissioner 6E03,
Yeah,
present. Commissioner 6E04 is vacant. 6E05 present. 6E06, anyone I think is able to join. And then 6E07, anyone? 6E08,
present.
and then 6E09.
Present.
We have quorum with four commissioners present, two vacancies. So that would be six, and then three absent commissioners. So we have quorum to move. I will move to the next item, which should be approval of the agenda for each of these meetings. Um, I'll share my screen. Can you see my screen okay? Shall I
Yep.
zoom in? Okay, great. So we have a couple of items on the agenda where we have offered applicants or entities the opportunity to come and present, but not sure if they'll be in attendance. So we voted on approval of agenda. We did the call to order. We'll vote on approval of the agenda in a minute. We'll be voting on approving February minutes for both the special meeting and a regular meeting. We have a guest from Congresswoman Eleanor Holmes Norton office to present on implications of the federal budget on local DC budget, regular updates to Members Allen's office, Mayor's office, MPD. We have request for support for public space permit on K Street, couple of liquor license renewal. Not sure if they will be joining us or not today, but I haven't heard any concerns from commissioners. We invited DDOT to present on some changes to bus stops, but also not sure if they'll be joining. And we have a couple of presentations from DC agencies, and then we'll have open forum. Any questions, thoughts, amendments to the agenda? Okay. Anyone would like to move a motion to approve the agenda?
Yeah, I'd be happy to. I move that we approve the agenda for the March 27th meeting.
Motion to second?
I'll second.
Okay. Commissioner Prince moved and Commissioner Rogers seconded that ANC 6E approves the agenda for the March 27th meeting. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Great. So the motion moves with 4 ayes, 0 nays, and no abstains. Moving towards this following segment is the approval of the February minutes. There were two documents that got circulated. One that I drafted for the special meeting that we did in mid-February, and then another one circulated by Karen for the regular meeting. Anyone have any questions, or do you feel comfortable with moving forward and voting on the meeting minutes?
I was just checking whether I had replied to you about the special meeting. I I'm not sure I reviewed them, but uh,
Yeah, they're very brief. They're mostly just about
I
approving
vaguely, yeah, I just can't find my reply.
the
Okay.
okay. Anyone would like to make a motion to approve the minutes? Secretary Brent, would you like
Sure.
to?
I move that we approve the minutes from the February 27th meeting as well as the special meeting on, was it February 13th? In the middle of the month, whatever the date was, the
Correct.
special meeting that we
Yes.
held.
Yes. Motion to
Second that.
second. So Commissioner Prince moved and then Commissioner Haas seconded a motion to approve both the meeting minutes for the ANC 6E February 27th meeting and then the special meeting on February 13th. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
I,
Okay. So the motion moves with 4 ayes, 0 nays, and no abstain. Great. We will move now towards the next segment with our guests. Trent, I think I saw promote you. Okay. So you now I will promote you as a panelist.
Hi, can you
Thank
see
you
me?
for joining us. Yes, can see you and hear you. Okay.
Perfect. Well, thank you for having me today. I appreciate it. So, as you mentioned, I would like to address DC's treatment in the recently enacted continuing resolution. So, Congresswoman Norton has called the CR an act of fiscal sabotage against DC, and the CR cut more than $1 billion from DC's current local budget halfway through its fiscal year. For the last 20 years, DC has been able to operate under the local budget enacted by DC for its current fiscal year for the duration of every CR. The CR, though, does not allow DC to do so. House Republicans intentionally excluded the DC provision. It was not a drafting error. So instead, the CR effectively repealed the fiscal year 2025 local budget enacted by DC, which DC had been operating under for 6 months, and restored the fiscal year 2024 local budget enacted by DC, which DC stopped operating under 6 months ago. It's important to note that the DC local budget consists of locally raised revenue. So this cut does not save the federal government any money. Before the House passed the CR, Congresswoman Norton filed an amendment to fix the treatment of DC, and House Republicans rejected it. So we're pleased that the Senate passed a separate bill immediately after passage of the CR to fix the treatment of DC in the CR, but the House has not taken it up. And we face challenges getting the Senate passed bill through the House. So while the White House has told the press that the president supports the Senate passed DC bill, the president has not personally said so. And Speaker Mike Johnson has told the press he has not decided whether to bring the bill to the floor. Several House Republicans have gone on record opposing the bill, and several others have said that they want to amend it to make additional changes to DC law. Over the last 2 years, Congress, and especially the House, has attacked DC home rule more than at any time since the 1990s, including members introducing bills to repeal the DC Home Rule Act itself, which would abolish the offices of the mayor and the council. So, thank you for having me here today, and I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have.
Great. I really appreciate that update. Any questions by commissioners? Go ahead.
I don't have any questions. I would just like to thank Delegate Norton for all of her efforts to do what's right for DC because the district is being unfairly treated, and possibly eventually punished. So I appreciate those efforts.
Great. And one thing I just want to say, there have been a ton of DC residents who have gone on the Hill and spoken out for this, for the fix. And, we're incredibly appreciative of that. And that has made a huge difference.
Right, right. That citizen engagement has been important. I myself made some calls to Senate officers, Senate offices, and ANC commissioners are within their rights to do that. And yeah, so I think we need to continue talking about this issue until it's fixed.
Two quick questions. Again, thank you for joining us and presenting on this issue. If you could present or expand a little bit about what's on the line, if this doesn't get passed in the House and then the Senate, this fixed to the local DC budget issue, like what is on the line, what kind of cuts are we expecting? And then if you could also discuss how ANC commissions, including this commission, could advocate for passing this fix, if you have any ideas. I think one way is for us to pass a resolution, and then share it with Congress members and the House, but I'm not sure if that is very helpful, but could try to get your thoughts about that.
Sure. So on the first question, uh, at the end of the day, like I said, this is going to be $1 billion cut halfway through the fiscal year. And so it's almost going to feel like a $2 billion cut potentially. And so it's going to be up to DC to figure out what they're going to do about this. And so we wouldn't weigh in on that, but I will support whatever DC does going forward on this. But they're the ones that are going to have to figure this out if the bill doesn't pass. And then as far as what people can do, so first of all, under the House ethics rules, I can't advise on lobbying. So can't do that. But of course, I think, as I mentioned before, it's been very effective hearing from people. We've had all the way from like school children going up to the Hill and saying, I don't want to have my teacher fired because of this thing that Congress is doing to us, things like that. And that's been incredibly effective. I think hearing from, local elected officials, things like that, I think we would always welcome that.
Great, thank you. Any other questions by commissioners before we move to constituents? Great. Let's see that John has their hand up. John, did you have a question or comment?
Yeah, quick question. Thank you, Trent, for being here. I work in Councilmember Allen's office here at DC Council, and I was wondering if you could expand on what you see on the horizon for this next budget or upcoming battles or targets that you're hearing in the hallways or hearing among discussions on the Hill in terms of when you think about how we could be targeted or in what capacity
So you
for the
mean
next budget.
for the next fiscal year appropriations?
Yes.
Sure. So I think anything's going to be open potentially. We saw a historic number of attacks in the last Congress, and we had a record number of appropriations, riders added to the appropriations bills than we had before. And I'm sure you know all this, but all the way from, right-hand turn on red laws to whatever other really quintessentially local issues they wanted to do. And so there could be a lot of things that could be added. The one thing that might potentially help going forward too, that we're hopeful on, is the Senate filibuster. So right now the filibuster is still around, and so I think it's just going to be a question of, is this going to be, something that rises to the level what Democrats in the Senate would want to filibuster a bill for?
Great, thank you. John, did you have any other questions or comments?
Not right now, thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Constituent on the line. Any other questions or comments? Well, this was very helpful. Thank you for taking the time again to join us, and hopefully we'll get more positive update about local DC budget next time we chat with you. We appreciate it. Any last thoughts or comments you would want to share?
No, that sounds good. Thanks for having me. Thanks for highlighting this important issue. And if anybody has any questions or anything, feel free to reach out to me anytime. I'm always around.
Great. Thank you so much. Actually move to the next assignment with John from council members town's office to provide an update to make sure demise is that Commissioner Watts.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, that is.
Okay, great. I'm
Thanks
just
for
gonna,
joining. Just want to make a note. It's 6:53 p.m. and we're joined by Commissioner Watt. Thank you, John. Go ahead and give us your update.
So I am John Madison and I work in Councilmember Allen's office. My focus is really helping neighbors in Northwest and Southwest in Ward 6. So I come to you with that in mind, and if there are any issues, I heard from Commissioner Carson today about Liberty Place having some water issues, things like that. Feel free to reach out to me at any time. I wanted to mention that we're having a hearing on Monday on a bill from Councilmember Allen that would require installing solar canopies at 20 sites across DC, including playgrounds, parks, and other spaces where we can provide shade and germinate clean electricity. So I have a link to sign up if you want to be part of that hearing and testify. One of the things we're seeing, obviously, is with global warming. Hello, Kat. Is that shade has become pretty critical in our planning in terms of parks and that kind of thing at rec centers as well. So I just wanted to mention that. The next thing that I want to mention is and thank you for the ANC 6E's plug in their announcement for this meeting. The Great Ward 6 cleanup will return Saturday, April 5th. It's going to be from 10 to 12 that Saturday. And you can decide which park, street, or public space near you want to get involved in. It's grown every year. We have more than 300 people signed up. It's just a simple community service and beautification for neighbors to get to know each other and work together on improving their own neighborhood. I have a Mount Airy sign up. I'm listing that as a site to do New York Avenue or a small route around there, and I would encourage folks to sign up for that or just email me and we can get it together. Let's see, if you're a business, community organization, and you wanna be a part of it, just let me know. We'll add you to a list of locations. The next thing I have is the earned income tax rebate. DC is probably one of the most beneficial tax rebates for lower wage working families. It's something that Councilmember Allen expanded back in 21. And it's really the most direct way to get support for some of our most vulnerable families. So as long as you're eligible and you fill out your taxes, you automatically get that rebate from DC without any extra work. I will put that link in the chat. We also have a flyer that I'd love to include in terms of, we sort of broke down the OTR website in terms of who's eligible and kind of tried to make it into English in terms of which scenario you can see yourself in. So we picked 3 just to kind of keep it simple. And I will try and include that in the chat as well. I want to make sure that people also know there's free tax preparation at a lot of DC public libraries, and I have a chat for that as well. a link, pardon me. Okay, we have some legislation that is going to ban credit card swipe fees on taxes and tips. Last month, Councilmember Allen introduced a bill that would stop credit cards and banks from including tax and tip on their swipe fee they charge to process a payment. The bottom line is that it can cost a restaurant up to 15 grand a year as a small business. Um, and we are really concerned that all of these transactions, while they don't add up to a lot individually, over the course of a year, it really does make an impact. And so we wanted to make sure that was on the list of being things that are being considered. I will skip my congressional update because we had it from the horse's mouth. I will note, though, that the layoffs and hiring freezes will be police, schools, and fire departments. It'll be sanitation workers. It'll be building inspectors. I'm really glad to hear that the emphasis that these are local DC tax dollars from Mr. Holtman. And I also want to encourage anybody and everybody to get out there on the Hill to keep fighting for our DC dollars. So thanks, and I will happily take any questions.
Thank you, John. This was very helpful, and I am collaborating with some groups of tenants and tenant association to do a cleanup in my single member district. So very excited to join again this year. Commissioners, any question? Go ahead, Commissioner Prince.
Thank you. Thanks, John. I've seen press reports about Waymo beginning to, I guess, assess or plan for the introduction of driverless vehicles in DC, and I'm wondering how the council will approach that, assess it, and act on it. And obviously, Councilmember Allen, as chairman of the Transportation Committee, is a key figure in that. So I know maybe it's a little early, but will there be hearings? And maybe if you can share any thinking about that. I have some grave reservations about it. So yeah, thank you.
Sure. So I don't know a huge amount about it. However, I do know that I believe Councilmember Allen went on his first Waymo ride today. There were some issues in Chinatown with a right-hand turn. I think there are, as you say, some reservations we should all have about it. But I am happy to connect our transportation committee with you so that you can get a better sense of where things are on the council. Um, I don't have a lot of extra information. I
Okay.
apologize, but I'm
Oh, no
happy
worries.
to get a report to you.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions or comments by commissioners?
I do want to welcome the new commissioner, and I'm really glad to see somebody stepping up.
Yep. And should have a commissioner sworn in for 6E01, which brings us down to one vacancy, which is exciting.
That's great.
Great. Constituents on the line, anyone would want to ask a question or make a comment, please feel free to use the raise hand option or type your question in the Q&A box.
I will note I'll be here the whole time, so if somebody has something that comes
Sure.
up later, I'll be paying attention.
Great. And I will just note that myself and Commissioner Carson were coordinating with you and the Office of Charles Allen um, about the different issues that we're experiencing in different multifamily buildings in our single member district and trying to explore a more comprehensive effort in addressing individual issues reported by tenants in a more collective way. So thank you for your collaboration. Okay. Thanks again, for joining us, and I dropped the link to the RSVP page for the spring cleanup and encourage everyone to join. Thank you. Bye. Moving to the um, next segment, see that we have Noah. Good
Hey,
afternoon.
good afternoon. Thank you so much for having me. And Trent, it's good to see you, former colleague from Congresswoman Norton's office. Just to mimic what he was saying earlier, 2 weeks ago, obviously, Congress passed that continuing resolution, which stripped DC of about $1 billion of our own funds. And the Congressional Budget Office just said that it would actually save the federal government $0 by taking our money. But Mayor Bowser held a press conference last Thursday, or I believe 2 Thursdays at this point, to discuss efforts to work with our House allies across the aisle to restore this funding. And so she was joined by members of the council, the city administrator, the chief financial officer, and the budget administrator. But we do want to make it clear that we will meet our financial obligations regardless of how this pans out. But one good thing is that we have a little bit of time on our hands. As she said in the press conference, no agency throughout the district is close to spending at fiscal 24 levels yet, just because of where we are in the fiscal budget. So we do have a little bit of time to work with, but not all the time in the world. So it is important that the House takes up the DC Local Funds Act and passes it. In terms of some other things going on more local outside of Congress, when it comes to Black Lives Matter Plaza. We all know that BLM Plaza was a defining moment in our history, and it's always going to be part of our DC history. But while the plaza is changing, our values are remaining the same. Black lives have always mattered. They still matter. They will continue to matter, though matter is the minimum. Let's be clear about that. The Bowser administration is very proud of our work that over the past decade, where we have shown our values and lived them through our policy implementations. As part of DC's 2025 mural project, we're going to be inviting artists and students from all 8 wards to create new public art. So that strip, those 2 blocks of 16th Street Northwest, that's going to be transformed into some brand new murals. This was a local decision. We want to be clear about that before any bill was introduced into Congress. The way that it worked is that, the mayor had made this decision privately. The congressman from Georgia had introduced a bill to remove BLM Plaza in the Washington Post, I believe. I'd asked the mayor for comment, and so she chose to comment earlier than she had expected. But this was ultimately a local decision. Mostly so we can keep our focus on urgent issues, which is, of course, the devastating impacts of federal job cuts. And that has to be our number one priority, along with economic growth, public safety, and supporting residents affected by these cuts. We all know that DC is unique in the American political system. We are a city, a county, and a state all at once. I like to call it the holy trinity of bureaucracy. And while we achieved limited home rule in 1973, until we become a state, and we will become a state, but until then, we're always going to have a unique relationship with the Congress and the president, which we just can't ignore regardless of who is in charge. The other 2 updates that I have: Emancipation Day is coming up in DC. We know that Emancipation Day is on April 16th. It celebrates the anniversary of President Abraham Lincoln signing a piece of legislation from Congress to end enslavement in the district about 9 months before the Emancipation Proclamation was issued, and 3 years before the 13th Amendment was ratified into our Constitution. But our celebration is going to be on April 13th at Freedom Plaza. We would love for you to join us. You can find more information at emancipation.dc.gov. That will have all the information you need. And my last update is that last week, Ward 6 Mokers, we held a multi-agency walkthrough with DOH, DPW, DBH, NPD, and DOB around the new congregate shelter at 25 East Street Northwest. just to address some ongoing community concerns, how we can best assist that congregate shelter, whether it's beautifying the landscape around it, more protective barriers, making sure that the community understands that this is a really good addition to our community and it's going to serve a lot of residents in need. We're looking forward to following that up. But with that, I will take any questions if there are.
Thank you, Noah. This is very helpful. Just a quick question. Um, should the impacted cuts that would happen if the fiscal bill does not, the fix for the fiscal issue does not pass through the House and Senate again, that is impacted over how many years? Like how, like that is projected to impact DC over multiple years or
So
just for one fiscal year?
So the way that we have to budget, unlike most cities and states and counties in the country, we have to project our budget 5 years in advance. So we have to be able to balance it all 5 years in projections. So the chief financial officer has to be able to balance a budget if there's a recession or if there's a surplus, and we have to be able to look at those considerations. As for the ongoing federal job loss, we are looking at $1 billion loss of revenue over the next 5 years. I believe right now it is for fiscal 25 going to be either 321 million or 341 million, but still a significant amount of money. And then that doesn't even touch the funds that Congress is stealing from us if the DC Local Funds Act does not pass the House. But to answer that other part about which services would be cut in fiscal 25, in order to slash $1 billion within that time frame, we're going to have to go for the biggest spenders. So that's our human services, our public schools, and our police and fire, as John said. So pretty significant cuts for pretty much no reason.
Got it. Thank you. My second question, could you expand on the blitz for the non-congregate shelter? Like, what are some of the key points that were discussed or solutions for potential solutions for community concerns? Because that is the non-congregate shelter on East Street in ANC 6E, right?
Right, it is. It's right
Yeah.
next to
Okay.
the new the Georgetown School, McCourt School of Public Policy. So some of the things that we discussed were how we can interact with our unhoused populations to get them services, and what we can continue to do if they deny services. We know that some people, first time you make contact with them, they'll go into a shelter and get support that they need. Sometimes it takes up to a year. So it's just taking note of where we see unhoused populations and making sure that our community outreach teams go out and make continuous contact so we can ensure that those unhoused populations are served with resources that they need. So like if it's hot, we can get them cooling centers. If it's too cold, we can get them into warming centers and connect them with anything like that. In terms of public safety, we were able to identify a few alleyways around Union Station where drug deals occur, especially at night. And we were able to pinpoint and locate certain blind spots where security cameras are, and working with our Office of Victim Service Justice and Grants with our security camera rebate program to get those businesses who would like to have security cameras be able to do so, and can assist NPD in stopping those drug interactions. So those are just a few of the things that we talked about.
Great. Thank you. I appreciate it. Commissioners, any questions for Noah? Great. Constituents, any questions for Noah or any comments? Feel free to use the raise hand or type in the Q&A box. Not seeing any. Great. Well, thank you again for joining us. Appreciate your update, and we will stay in touch. Thank you. to the next item. Updates from MPD. Seeing that. Have a representative from the first district.
Hey, sorry about that. I'm doing double duty today. I'm also the watch commander, so I only have a brief second and I have to hop out. I just got a call about an arrest, but I
No
wanted to
problem.
call. I wanted to just update. So a good month for ANC 60 and the 1D side. We have no violent crime to report out on. We've been continuing. You might have seen increased presence over at M Street and Banner Lane and First Place. We've been having officers there every shift. We are having a community meeting with the residents of Banner Lane on April 17th in the evening because the manager there is wanting to talk to us about some concerns they have with juveniles. We did have a concerning incident where somebody did fire a gun at Banner, right behind Banner Lane on the unit block of L Street Northwest. That is under investigation. Looks like an individual fired gun into the air several times. We recovered some shell casings. Which coincidentally, they did fire it right under an MPD crime camera. So that's going to be really helpful in us identifying that individual. And that just happened 2 days ago. So we're hot on that case already. Some of the issues that we came up last month, I just wanted to talk about real quickly. We have increased the patrols over at Capitol Plaza. I know that came up at North Capitol, on Capitol Plaza in that alley back there, especially on midnights. I've had officers trying to go through that alley. Again, we have limited manpower, so we do as best we can as far as getting people back there on all shifts. I have forwarded, there was some concern about North Capitol and East Street enforcement. We did have our traffic card do some enforcement there. I think it's going to take a little bit more of a DDOT solution rather than an MPD solution because there's a lot of people doing that. There's turn lane problems there, people turning in front of oncoming traffic during rush hours, especially. We did do some traffic enforcement, but I don't think, in my opinion, I don't know that we're going to be able to solve it with just traffic enforcement. I think it's going to need to be something that we talk with our partners at DDOT for a more structural issue about. And then 400 Mass Northwest, there was a complaint. Somebody had, not a complaint, but a concern that there was unhoused individual at the old entrance to the CVS. We did notify our mental health co-response team as well as some of the mayor's office on the unhoused to kind of do some outreach there. I went by the other day. I didn't see the individual there, but that doesn't mean that they haven't been in and out. So we'll continue to monitor that situation. And as well as the situation with the unlawful discharge of the firearm at the unit block of L Street. As the weather warms up, we'll continue to kind of do a full court press over on Banner Lane, First Place Southwest, and unit block at M Street, making sure that any of those outdoor activities as far as like large gatherings, parties and stuff on the street, we address in a timely manner before they kind of turn into an issue, because that's what we had some issues with last summer. So that's definitely front of mind for us with the commander and me kind of doing our warm weather planning to make sure that we address those situations so they don't pop up again. And I have just a few minutes for any questions or concerns, of course.
Commissioner Prince, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. I just wanted to learn more about the situation you mentioned was it New Jersey and D? Because I'm aware there was a light issue at New Jersey and E, but it's been fixed.
No,
What
North
was
Capitol and
D?
North Capitol and E.
Oh, North Capitol and D.
E is an Edward. E is an Edward.
North
So like,
Capitol and E. Oh,
yeah,
okay.
there's like it's almost like a part of Columbus Circle there.
Yeah, I'm looking at it on the map. Yeah,
the
part of that's on the
constituent-
corner of my
I
SMD.
think
Go ahead.
the constituent's complaint was concerned about people turning during rush hour and kind of there's been some pedestrian issues with people being able to cross the street safely and also people turning in front of oncoming traffic and then blocking traffic. So that was what our main concern was. So I did a couple days of enforcement there, but like I said, I want to brainstorm with DDOT with that one because I just don't know that that's going to be. It's like almost like you have to have somebody there every rush hour all the time because it's consistently an issue. So I definitely recognize.
Yeah.
problem. So
Thank you.
Great. Any quick questions? I know that you need to leave. Do you have more time, or it's okay if you need to leave?
no, if there's a couple questions
Okay.
from everyone.
Yeah, constituents, any quick questions? Don't see any. Thank you for the update and for joining us this afternoon.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good night. Don't see anyone from MPD's fifth district. Are we joined by any representatives from MPD fifth district? Think so. Right. Moving to the next item, request for support for public space permit for the unenclosed sidewalk cafe at 430 T Street. See, I think that is Tony who represents the application. Good afternoon, Tony.
Good afternoon. I don't see my face there. I don't know if you guys see it or not. But you got the.
I don't think is your camera on? We can hear you, but we cannot see you.
Yeah, my camera's on. Oh wait, let me see. Yep.
Oh, we
Perfect.
can see you now.
Thank you for having me over tonight. I really appreciate that. I'm one of the owners of a bake joint. We've been in business, or we've been in that location for 9 years. We've had a unenclosed permit for 9 years. When we opened joint, we were under the address of the building, of the Lyric building, which was 400 K Street. We were having issues with deliveries and whatnot, so we changed the address legally to 430 K Street. We neglected to change the public space permit, and that stays as 400. They flagged that on the renewal last month, and they've asked us to reapply, which is what we're doing right now. So nothing has changed. I mean, it's the same space, the same layout. Nothing has really changed in the last 9 years. So we're here because of, I guess, of a clerical issue of the address.
Got it.
I can go into details of what we're doing, but I don't know if you're interested in that or not.
Only if you want to share anything. But commissioners, do you have any questions, any comments? This is in single member 6E01, which is currently vacant, soon to be filled. But I have visited the establishment and I have no issues or concerns, but want to see if other commissioners have any questions or comments. Commissioner Prince.
Yeah, sure. Thank you. Well, I love to bake joint. I think it's a great contribution to our community life. I'm a little curious, are there changes you're proposing in the actual space, or is this just a technical fix regarding the street address?
It's just a technical fix regarding the street address. And, we
Okay.
thought that there'd be an administrative path to just changing the address. Apparently that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
So they've requested that we reapply, like starting from scratch, and that's what we're doing.
Of course. Thank you.
Thank you.
Commissioners or constituents on the line, do you have any questions or comments?
No, I would just kind of second what Commissioner Prince said. I'm a big fan of the establishment too. I've never been any issues. Really like their food and drinks.
Thank you. Thank you.
last chance for anyone share any comments or if you have any questions. Great. Yeah, I don't think I have any concerns, so I will make a motion to pass a resolution conveying to DDOT that ANC 6E supports the public space permit application for unenclosed cafe at 430 J Street Northwest. Motion to second.
I'll second that.
So Commissioner Abou Path and Commissioner Prince seconded that ANC 6E approve a resolution conveying the commission's support to DDOT for the public space permit application for unenclosed cafe at 430 K Street Northwest. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Commissioner Hunt,
Aye, sorry.
Commissioner Watts, Commissioner Watts, I think you're muted. I can't hear you. I'm not sure if she's still joining us. Shall we just consider that as abstain to move the meeting forward?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe there's a not voting or, I mean, it's not even a present. She may have stepped away. It's
Yeah.
impossible to tell.
Well, yeah, I'll give it a minute, and if not, or shall no. Okay. Commissioner Watts, are you still with us? I'll just say that the motion moved with
Hello?
yeah, are you still
Sorry,
with
I
us?
went to the bathroom.
No problem. We just voted on a resolution supporting the
For the big joint?
application. Yeah,
Okay, I'm in.
okay. Great. So the resolution passes with 5 ayes, 0 nays, and no abstain. And we will make sure to send you that letter or resolution. Thank you again for joining us.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Take
Have
care.
a good night.
Thank you.
Great. The next segment, we have a couple of liquor license renewal applications, and I believe that we can vote on them at once. Let me share my screen to list them. We have a number of applications for new liquor licenses. The first one in 6001 by 250 Barbecue. And apologies if I'm mispronouncing any of these names. Mandu in 6002, Pachina Morini 6003, Love Makoto 6008. So I feel that we could vote on one resolution, conveying our support if you want to do that, or treat each one as an individual application. Commissioner Prince.
Oh, actually, I probably should respond first to your question, and then I was going to mention I'm aware some people are on here. I would certainly, maybe we should, I think we're going to come down in the same place on these, but perhaps we could hear from the representatives of the
Oh, we
firms
do have
that
some
will
representatives.
take us to to an understanding of whether we can vote them through as a all at once
Do
or
we?
separate.
Yeah, thanks for flagging that. If you represent any of these um, local businesses, please use raise hand option so we'll allow you to present. Do you know if we are joined by anyone representing any of these?
I expected the representative from Love Makoto. We are
Are we ahead of
a
the?
bit ahead of our
Oh, I see.
agenda though.
Oh, I
So
see. Maybe we
maybe
can
I may be able
switch
to
it up
reach
a
out.
little and then do, yeah, I hear, yeah, we're like an hour ahead. Uh, yeah, maybe we can move to another item and then come back to it in case we'll be joined by, yeah, thanks for flagging that. I see Tyler Williams from DDOT. Can promote Tyler as a panelist. Thank you for joining us this afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Okay. If you don't mind, could I just have 1 minute? I just need to switch over from my phone to my
Sure.
laptop.
Yeah,
Thanks.
no problem.
Hi, good evening. I'm sorry. Thank you for
Yeah,
your patience.
no problem. Yeah.
So I see on the agenda, we're here to talk about the NOI for the proposed Better Bus Network changes. This is WMATA's bus network redesign. And what we are proposing is specifically for the intersection of New York and New Jersey. There will be a new bus line added. It's the D34. It's going to go from West Hyattsville all the way to Metro Center. And what we're proposing is actually to restore a couple of the bus stops that were previously on New York Avenue. I believe it was the P6 and the G8 bus back in the day, not too far back in the day, but a few years ago. And so the one of the bus stops that we're proposing to add is right outside of Holy Redeemer Church, and that's for the eastbound bus stop. And then for the westbound bus stop, we're proposing right outside of Kung Fu Gift Shop. And I think right now, and that may be 2G on that side, but I think right now, what's right there is there are some rush hour restricted parking spaces that are really unsafe. You can really only fit maybe 2 cars there. So the bus stop would be replacing the current um, the current rush hour restricted parking there. And I'm happy to add some. Are you going to share the NOI? Oh, okay, great. So yeah, so this is a visual representation of where these bus stops will be. The other location is at New York and North Capitol Street, right outside of the Pinnacle apartment building. And for the westbound direction, it's a lot. I don't know if it's vacant or not. It was kind of a parking lot at one point. But that is where, and there are no parking impacts for those locations.
And sorry, sometimes transportation issues are too technical for me. So what are the proposed changes? Just changing the location of existing bus stops? Are they
So
sheltered, unsheltered?
not quite. So this is a completely new bus route.
Got it.
Yeah, it used to be a bus route. We've since rerouted those two lines, the P6 and the G8, but currently WMATA is undergoing a complete bus network redesign. They're going to be renaming all of the different buses. So the bus lines as we know them now, your X2s, your H8s, your B2s, all of those will receive new names. I can't remember what the rationale behind the new name changes, but all of them will be receiving a rebrand. And so as the routes are updated, what we'll see is where there are currently bus stop flaggers, those red, white, and blue flaggers that say Metro on them, they'll say what the route formerly was and what the route is now. Now, for new routes like the D34 that we're proposing these stops for here, it won't say formally because there wasn't a route there formally. This is a brand new route. So these are completely new stops as we know
Got
it.
it. And do you know if the new stop will be sheltered, unsheltered, or is that
So
a
for the
different?
new routes, bus shelters are typically determined by ridership.
Got it.
So we would probably wait to collect some ridership data before establishing locations for shelters. If there's high ridership, there's a certain threshold. If there's high ridership, it can determine whether or not one shelter is needed versus two shelters. It's also not just ridership. It depends on the width of the sidewalk, the location, I'm a little doubtful that there would be a bus shelter in front of Holy Redeemer Church. It kind of narrows there and given the church steps and everything. So it's very unlikely that there would be a bus shelter there, and honestly in front of the Pinnacle as well. But perhaps on the westbound side in front of that vacant lot that's at North Capitol in New York, that could be an option if the ridership warrants that. So basically they would be measuring how many folks are tapping on at that location, how many folks are offboarding at that location as well.
One last question before checking if other commissioners have a question. What kind of input would you want regarding this proposal? Is it about the proposed locations for the bus stops or?
Yeah, so anytime that there are changes to traffic pattern or parking, like with the removal of the rush hour restricted parking, we do want to make sure that we're engaging the ANCs just to get any type of feedback. So right now we're in a public comment period, so you're able to offer whatever comments the community desires to, and there can also be feedback on the route. Well, these routes they have been adopted fully by WMATA's board, but some of the changes to support the new routes are still being adjusted. Yeah, and these are like aerial view screenshots of where the new bus zones would be.
Commissioners, any questions or comments for Tyler?
Can you make the image larger? I'm looking at the north side of New York Avenue. I'm interested in sort of
I think
exactly
this is
what
like
you're
the
in the.
largest. Oh, maybe
Okay, no, that's all
see
right.
if I
I'll
can do
just
it.
make it a
Yeah,
little
no,
bigger.
it's actually letting me do
All
it
right.
this way.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Well, actually, I just have a concern about both sides. It's not really a concern, just I'm sure you're aware that there are protected bike lanes running on both sides of New Jersey Avenue there, north and south. And I guess I would like to be sure that the buses would be sort of stopping a safe distance away from them after they clear the intersection so that they would not, uh, you know, uh, cause any issues with bicyclists. That's all.
Absolutely. That's great feedback. So when we're scoping locations for new bus zones, we need 100 feet of space. The bus may only need 40, but the law regulates it between 80 and 100. And to be on the safe side, to ensure that even during peak congestion times, that bus will have 100 feet of space in order to pull completely out of the intersection, completely away from the crosswalk, to be able to safely onboard and offboard, as well as to allow for traffic to cross the intersection, including cyclist traffic.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Commissioners, any questions or comments? Briefly stop sharing. Constituents, do you have any questions or comments? Okay. Not seeing any. Thank you for joining us and presenting. We appreciate your time.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
Second. Commissioner Prince, did you want to propose a resolution, or you're not that concerned about the bike lane? It's not significant
No,
enough?
I don't have any concerns, and it's not my SMD either.
Yeah.
No, the plan looks fine. I don't have any
Okay.
concerns with that.
Sounds good. Wanted to double check. I think let's see. Couple of other presenters so we could move to.
Oh, well, I do know that the representative from the applicant from 6008 has joined the call on the liquor
Yeah,
license issue. I'm not sure if others are on.
yeah, maybe, yeah. I think it's okay to do it like if we, because we have other presenters, so maybe we can just wait till 8 just to make sure that anyone who wants to present on the liquor license could be here. So we could move to item 12, a presentation by Shakira, and then could move back closer to 8 to the liquor license item.
Good afternoon, everyone. How are you all?
Hello?
Thank you.
Thank
Can you
you
hear me?
for
I'm
joining us.
sorry.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
can hear
thank you
you and
so
see you.
much for having me here this evening. I appreciate your time. I'm Shakira Richardson. I'm one of the program managers of the Consumer Protection Unit within the Department of Licensing and Consumer Protection. Our agency, of course, is responsible for the economic well-being and safety of the district, its citizens, its residents, its tourists, the businesses. And we do that by way of ensuring that businesses have the required licensure to operate in the district. And we also do that by ensuring consumer protection by way of the Consumer Protection Procedures Act. Um, let's see. Can I control the slides here?
I can control the slide. Just let me
Oh,
know
okay, sure.
when to look.
Sure,
Yeah.
you can skip on through. We can go to the next slide. Um, and this is who we are and what we do. We're the Department of Licensing and Consumer Protection, and I am from the Consumer Protection Unit within this agency. And we consider the enforcement arm, but what we are community advocates and liaisons between businesses and the district government, and we are advocates for consumers to ensure that we hold businesses to a standard that's called the Consumer Protection Procedures Act to ensure that they are providing the goods and services in accordance with the district's code of conduct for businesses in the district. And we do that by when consumers have concerns. We cover a wide array of concern types from if you purchase a car and you feel like you believe that that car is to be a lemon, if there unlicensed rental activity in your area, including short-term rentals like Airbnbs, VRBOs. Those are all different complaint types that my office is responsible for enforcing. We also are responsible for the unlicensed vending activity in the district, which we are working closely with our stakeholder agencies to be more productive and ensuring compliance with the licensing requirements and to make sure that our sidewalks are safe and clean and accessible for people. We also encourage small businesses by lowering our licensing prices. We conduct outreach where we go into in any area. We go to every area in the district and we host licensing like symposiums, and we actually get people licensed on the spot. We have a small business resource center in our agency where you can set up an appointment. If you have a concept or a business idea that you're interested in pursuing, you can bring your ideas to us. You'll be assigned to an individual who will walk you through your business plan, help you find grants and different funds to assist you with becoming licensed and maintaining your business. If you have a business currently, they will help you grow your business. They'll make sure and help you ensure compliance with all the district's licensing and registration codes and requirements. And they're actual human beings. Like you don't have to like sit on a phone or sit in a chat. They're actual people that you can speak with in person, or you do have the option to chat. And our chat is actually live, is maintained by live people who will assist you via our chat, or you can call them. You can actually transfer to a call, and we actually are required to answer calls within 2 minutes. So we do respond, and we also answer all emails within 3 days. So and we're held to that standard, and if we miss that standard, we are like we get a ding for that. And there's like our director actually goes through these statistics with every program once a month. But consumer protection is we have about 30 investigators, and every single day we assist with ensuring that we help make consumers whole. If you hire a contractor to perform some work on your home and that work is not completed to code, or the contractor takes your money and runs away, we hold that contractor accountable if they're licensed or if they're unlicensed. We find them, we physically find them, and then once they're located, we work to make them whole. We mediate on behalf of the consumer to make the consumers whole. We're not always successful because sometimes those contractors will ghost us too. But if that occurs, then we help provide you with an investigative report that'll help support you in any claim that you file when if you choose to pursue your private right of action in DC Superior Court. But we are again mediators for you, for the public, for your needs. So if you have a business idea, if you have a concept, if you have a business concern, if you feel like a business is operating without the required licensure, regardless of license type, please forward that to us. We have an online complaint form, and in the slideshow, we have links to our online complaint form as well as a QR code. And these are just a bunch of the different complaint types that we are responsible for. Tow trucks, trash noise, unfair and deceptive trade practices, flavored tobacco, gas-powered leaf blowers. There's an array of complaint types that we're responsible for enforcing, and we are very, very successful in doing so. But our goal is always compliance over enforcement. So, because compliance actually solves the issues. Enforcement is us issuing you a citation. Compliance is us ensuring that you have the proper licensure and that you are adhering to the district standards of operation. And that's our ultimate goal, because that's what solves the consumer issue on a larger scale. This just talks about our enforcement capabilities. You can go to the next slide also. These are some of our authorities that are granted to us. You can go through the next slide and some of our limitations. Next slide also. Um, these are all the different regulatory matters. We oversee the boards and commissions that have over 125 different occupational professional licenses. And if you have a concern about any of these professionals, you can also file a complaint with our office. And we will investigate and then hand our investigation over to the proper board or commission to make a final determination on that person's respective license in that field. So you can go to the next slide also. But we are always, and this just more information about what we did. So much information. And this here shows you screenshots from our website where you can file a complaint, the different complaint types you can choose, and we have a QR code. So directly from your phone, you can scan and file a complaint. We receive it, and you'll receive a response from us within 3 days. And if you, I mean, there is no if you don't. We will respond to you in 3 days. We have not missed one. I can proudly say that we have not missed one complaint. And I think this is our second year straight. So if you have any questions or concerns, again, I'm Shakira Richardson. I'm always available, like literally always. My information's at the end of the slide deck. But please feel free to reach out for us. We stand prepared to serve you. And again, I thank you so much for your time.
Great. Thank you so much for your presentation. I have a quick question. I've heard about some concerns about third parties charging renters for waste and sewage fees. Um, tenants thinking they're overcharged or they have some unexplained fees. Would that be a complaint filed to your office or a different agency?
So that's considered normally a landlord tenant issue. Now, if
Okay,
the property in question has the required licensure to rent to the tenant, that falls to us.
got it.
But even if they just have a question, I beg them to please still send that complaint to us, because if we're not the proper responsive office, we will put you in contact with the proper responsive office. And it also gives us a window into maybe where there may be a point of concern so that we will
Mhm.
start checking the licensure at that location also. So if you ever have a question, even if you're not
Mhm.
completely sure, still come to us and we'll make sure we get you to the right people if we're not them.
Great. Thank you. Um, Commissioners, any questions or comments? Go ahead, Commissioner Prince.
Thank you. Yeah, I have a question. I think I saw on one of your slides a reference to cashless businesses. What is the law on that? Is that prohibited? And if it's prohibited, can businesses get a waiver?
Absolutely, yes. So cashless retailer prohibition originally went into effect about 2 years ago. However, and then there was a pause. There was some legislation introduced. There were many, during the pandemic, many businesses elected not to take cash for safety reasons. And many businesses following the pandemic elected to remain in that posture for safety reasons. Having cash on hand sometimes requires you to now have a bank come and pick money up. It opens you up to potentially being, robbed. Or when like waiters are leaving the facility, sometimes they're then targeted by people who know that they carry cash on them. So there was a pause placed on the legislation, enforcement of the legislation, for that reason, for safety reasons. And now there are exemptions, like if it's certain entertainment facilities, certain like professions where they're like, for example, waiters and waitresses, they're not required to abide by the cashless prohibition. And cashless prohibition was a law created to try to encourage um, people from people from every walk of life to have access to every store type, to make sure that nobody's being discriminated on. Um, but unfortunately, I think there were some things that weren't thought away all the way through, like safety concerns. And because of that, now there are exemptions to ensure that if you have those kinds of concerns, they can be addressed by way of you applying for an exemption. Or if you fall under specific certain license types like entertainment, that you don't have to abide by the prohibition. And if you fall under one of the license types that require you to be cashless, there's certain steps you can take. So you can have like a cash exchange machine, or you can also request a waiver. And we work with people all the time. We have yet to write a citation because we understand the challenges of businesses, particularly small businesses, and we don't want to put a further strain on those businesses. So we're very flexible. So if any business has a concern or question, we urge them just to reach out to us and we'll work with you.
Thank you.
commissioners, any questions? Constituents, any comments or questions? Great, thank you for joining us. This was very informative, and I will make sure to share the slides on the website if that's okay. Great,
Yes, thank you so much.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Have a good night. Right. For the next presentation, Sky join us. Yeah. Let's check. Do we have representatives for any of the businesses requesting support for liquor license renewals with APCA? Love Makoto, Pacino Marini, Mandu, and then 250 Barbecue. So could you please raise your hand so we can promote you as a panelist? Okay. See, Eric. Well, good afternoon or good evening at this point. I don't think I can hear you. Can other commissioners hear Eric?
Can anyone hear me?
I
Yes.
can hear you now. Yeah,
Sorry, I was muted.
all good. Yeah. So feel free to present on your business, any information you would want to share. Um, is this Love Makoto?
Yes,
Or
I'm with
correct?
Love.
Okay. Yeah.
I think there's
Great.
also a gentleman, my finance director, who may be also raising his hand. Talal is his name.
Oh, yeah, can promote him as a panelist.
Had him on in case there were any questions as well. Shall I give a brief overview of our company and offerings?
Sure. Or anything you would want to share about the application. Commissioner Prince, this is in your single member district.
It
Do you
is.
have any specific points or questions you wanted to discuss or?
No, I don't. I don't have any
Okay.
concerns about the
Yeah.
application. I'm looking forward to hearing whatever the representatives of Love Makoto have to tell us about the business. I'm a little familiar with it, but maybe others are not.
Very great.
Thanks for the opportunity to speak. Appreciate it. And thanks for your service, everyone. We're a small restaurant group, largely based in this neighborhood. We own Lardente, Love Makoto, and also Unconventional Diner on 9th. All of three of the concepts are Michelin rated. Pride ourselves in terrific food and good beverage. We are open for lunch and dinner service currently. From 11 a.m. to about 10 p.m. is our current hours for Love Makoto, offering full service for lunch and dinner and quick service all day long. Quick service component is named Love on the Run. The full service components have three titles. One is Deer Sushi, the other Beloved Barbecue, and the final is Haya Izakaya, which is our bar and grill concept. Any
Great.
questions for me or for Talal that we might be able to answer?
Don't really have any questions or concerns. Other commissioners, do you have any questions or any
No, I'll just
comments?
jump in maybe just for everyone's information. As far as I know, and just correct me if I'm wrong, the license is for indoor service. You don't have an outdoor patio. You don't have a summer garden. Is that correct? And it's just a
Correct.
renewal with no changes to
A
terms.
renewal, correct. That is correct. A renewal, no changes.
Great. commissioners or constituents? Any questions? Okay, great. Thank you for joining us, and happy to support.
Thank you. Thank you so much, guys. Have a good one.
You too. Do we have any other representatives for 250 Barbecue, Mandu, Sheena Marini? I don't think so. You know that 6001 is vacant. Commissioners representing single member districts for the other establishments. Do you have any comments or anything you would want to share? Okay. Hearing none, I think we could do one resolution conveying our support to the applications requesting the renewals for the four businesses. Any concerns about doing that? Okay. So I make a motion to move that ANC 6E approves a resolution conveying to APCA our support for the renewal of alcoholic beverage licenses for 250 Barbecue and 6001, Mandu and 6002, Cucina Morini in 6003, and Love Makoto in 6008. Motion to second.
I will second that.
Take me a minute to reread that. Commissioner Abukala introduced the motion, and Commissioner Prince seconded the motion to approve a resolution conveying our support to ABFA for the renewal of alcoholic beverage licenses for 250 Barbecue in 6001, Mandu in 6002, Katrina Marini in 6003, and Love Makoto in 6008. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Commissioner Rogers and Commissioner Watt. Commissioner Watts, I could not hear you.
Said aye.
Got it. And Commissioner Rogers. Commissioner Rogers, are you able to unmute yourself? Okay, that motion moves with 4 ayes, 0 nays, and 1 none vote. We will address
Not
that
voting,
later.
I guess.
Yeah, I'd have to check that. See you heading for that. Robert's rules book. So we'll make sure to send that resolution to APCA. We're way ahead of time, so I think Sky has not joined us, so we can move towards the open forum section. So any constituent or commissioner may raise an issue for discussion. We go with a limit of 2 minutes per item, and then any ANC commissioner can respond. Commissioner Prince, do you have?
No, I just wanted to be clear where we're going on the agenda. We are
On
uh,
item 14 because
we're jumping to 14 and then we'll come back to
yeah.
13.
Yeah.
Right.
I
have
will
not.
also send that point of contact and email because we're about like 14 minutes earlier. So
Yeah.
yeah. Commissioners, any items you would want to share or discuss?
Nothing for me.
Couple quick items. Next month it will be on April 24th. We will be joined by Councilmember Allen. He typically joins our ANC Commission in April to provide an update that includes an update on the budget, any proposed or passed legislation or any other issues. I do not believe that we have a new update on the individual websites for ANC commissions, but we'll be waiting to get an update, possibly by May, I think. The Office of ANC said. Yeah, those are my major updates, and also mentioned that Commissioner Carson and I are looking into having some forum or convening or a meeting to discuss how we can address significant issues reported for certain buildings in a more comprehensive way. Other commissioners, any items you would want to discuss? No. Constituents on the line, feel free to raise your hand. Okay, one hand, or also you could type questions in the Q&A box.
Hello, can everyone hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. I'm just here with the Office of DC Representative Oye Oluwa. We just wanted to kind of make our presence known and let you guys know kind of any constituents on this call, like what our office is. So our office is dedicated to fight for DC statehood while bringing initiatives to DC residents. We've heard a lot about the budget overturn today, so we are lobbying Congress. We are helping groups to lobby Congress to restore that. Also, we have some upcoming events. So we're hosting our next virtual immigration town hall on Saturday, March 29th at 12 noon. And on April 5th, we will be co-hosting our next expungement clinic where we help returning citizens get their second chance. And we're also resuming our free in-classroom STEM enrichment programs. So if it would be possible for me to potentially put in like the Q&A, and maybe one of you could put it in the chat, just our email address and phone number. So if anyone has any questions for our office and what we do and how we can help anyone that needs it, that would be wonderful.
Sure. Thank you for the update. And we also have a monthly newsletter for this commission. So if you have any updates, or if you just want us to include your contact information in the newsletter, we would be happy to do so.
Yeah, that would be great. Thank you so much.
Commissioners, did you have any comments or questions for Sarah? Okay. Great. Thank you. Other constituents or people joining us, do you have any questions or comments or any items you wanted to discuss? Since the Department of Energy presentation is not urgent, we're not actually voting on any items for that. It's more of like an informative presentation. Shall we make a motion amending the agenda and table that item for April? And then we can adjourn. Does that work? Yeah.
I think so. Yeah. Yeah. Because we're so much ahead of our agenda.
No, it's
an hour.
exceptional. We're usually
I know. I know it
we're
is.
usually like way over time. Okay,
Yeah.
so make a motion to amend the ANC 6E agenda for March 27th meeting by tabling item 13, which is presentation from the Department of Energy and Environment to April's meeting. I have a motion to second.
Well, I'll second it.
Okay. So Commissioner Abukaloff moved and Commissioner Kevin Rogers seconded a motion to amend the April 27th meeting by tabling item 13, presentation from the DC Department of Energy and Environment to the April meeting. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 I
Aye.
Motion moves with 5 ayes, 0 nays, and 0 abstains. Sounds good. So the next meeting will be on April 24th, 2025. Any last questions, comments, anything we'd want to raise before we adjourn? Sounds good. Anyone wants to make a motion to adjourn? Secretary Prince.
Sure, I'll move.
I feel like I've done a lot of motions.
Yeah, no. I just didn't want to monopolize
No, it's all
the
good.
motion function. So I move that we adjourn tonight's meeting.
and I second that.
Prince moved and Commissioner had seconded to adjourn.
Hold on. But before we adjourn,
Yeah.
we were going to paste into the Q&A the information from
Oh yeah.
Sarah Haller, and I
Okay.
see it here.
Yeah, I will go ahead and do it now.
So let's do that.
Yeah. And we
And the chat, though, does not show up on the video. So I just wonder if there's now it's a little complicated. You'd have to create a slide
we can
to
definitely
share that.
include it in the minutes,
Oh,
maybe, and then in the
I
newsletter.
see. Well, you know what? Our representative from the Department of Energy and Environment just joined the meeting.
Oh, okay.
So with that,
Let's
I actually would withdraw my
not,
motion.
yeah, let's not adjourn. Not quite yet. I'm glad that you caught
Okay.
that.
So let's share in the chat. I see you've done that.
Yeah.
And go to item 13.
Yeah. Do I need to make a motion on revising the agenda or?
We didn't vote on it.
Oh, we voted on
Did we?
revising. Yeah. So
Did
like
we vote on it? Oh, okay.
not,
Well, then
yeah.
let's unvote it.
Okay. Sorry about that. Sky,
I guess
we
we did vote. Yeah.
were way ahead of time and we thought we could table this presentation, but glad that you made it. So just before we move that, I made a motion to revise the agenda for the March 27th meeting by untabling, bringing back the presentation from the DC Department of Energy and Environment. Anyone want to second?
Sure, I'll second it.
Okay, Commissioner Abukaloff moved and Commissioner Prince seconded. Revising the agenda for March 27th meeting by bringing back item 13, which is presentation from the DC Department of Energy and Environment. Sky, thank you for joining us. I'll be sharing your slides
Yeah, no
momentarily.
problem. My apologies for
No.
joining.
Actually, you're more than 20 minutes or like half an hour early. We usually go over time, but for today we just moved faster than the usual. So we just thought that we could do the presentation some other time, but glad that you joined us. I will be pulling your slides up. Your slides is up and feel free to present when you're ready.
Nice. Well, awesome. Well, thank you again for allowing me the opportunity to present at your ANC meeting. I am going to talk a little bit about the River Smart Homes program offered by the Department of Energy and Environment. Essentially, the River Smart Homes program is a completely volunteer-based program offered by DOEE, which allows residents to sign up and participate in receiving green infrastructure practices on their property. You can scroll down a little bit. The point of the program is to reduce the amount of stormwater that's entering and leaving any property. So ideally, our program adds buffers to residential properties to reduce the amount of runoff that's entering the Potomac and Anacostia, and just make DC Water's job a little bit easier when it comes to mitigating stormwater from our actual water. You can go to our next page. So we do this through a simple process of, you can go down to the diagram, sorry about that. Through a simple process of allowing people to sign up. Someone from our team of auditors would come out to the property or schedule an assessment with the resident. We would come out to the property and complete the assessment, which is anywhere between 20 minutes to 60 minutes, depending on the housing size. Shortly after that, 2 weeks later, the resident then receives an audit from the auditor. And this is where we list all the possible recommendations that can be added to your property. The great thing about our program is residents are not required to go through with all of our recommendations, and these reports never expire. So whether you wait 3 months, 3 years from now to start any of these projects, that's perfectly fine as it pertains to participating in the program. Once you decide to move forward with any project, you pretty much just let the auditor who visited your home know. We sign you up on our end through one of our contractors. That would either be Casey Trees, who provides all of our trees, or the Alliance for the Chesapeake Bay, which provides the rest of our best management practices. And then we can go into the next page where we talk a little bit more about what our best management practices are. So the 5 BMPs, or best management practices, that River Smart Homes offers includes rain barrels, shade trees, 2 different types of landscaping, and a permeable paver rebate. So again, one of the first practices we offer are one of our barrels. We have barrels that have a capacity of 115 gallons to 132 gallons. If you've probably even seen these around your neighborhood, because we have been putting this on homes since 2009. These barrels are pretty durable, and they're also fairly user-friendly. They come at a one-time $50 copay that you pay the day of installment. And essentially, they're always installed on one foot cinder blocks because they don't have a water pump in them. They are completely gravity fed. And installing them on that 1 foot cinder block allows a natural flow of gravity to push that water out of the barrel. And then they also come with a 30-foot soaker hose just to feed into your existing vegetation or your future vegetation that we provide you. But the major maintenance of this is just making sure that you empty this barrel the day after it rains. A big statistic that we look at a lot is the fact that the average row home in DC drains around 1,000 pounds worth of water during a 1-inch rainstorm. So ideally within our program, if you can just hold your 1,000 gallons or 1,000 pounds of water until the next day, that's super helpful rather than everyone's downspout actively contributing 1,000 pounds worth of water into our waterways. And you can keep scrolling. And these are just some specs about the 2 barrels that we offer. We offer a riverside model, which is on the left, and then a hydro model, which is on the right. And then you can keep going to the next page. The next thing that we offer are shade trees. Shade trees are absolutely free through our program. We work with the main tree contractor of DC, Casey Trees, to provide different species to residents. These species are not fully grown when you receive them. Luckily, they are seedlings. I know some people are kind of iffy about having a tree on their property, but these trees normally don't reach their full maturity for another 10 to 20 years, depending on the species that you get. Unfortunately, a person like me, I wouldn't be able to choose the species for you. It is completely based on what Casey Trees has in their inventory. But as you can see in the slide, there are about 8 that are pictured, but they usually keep about 19 within their inventory. Some ranging between 1-story to 2-story, flower bearing, fruit bearing, or nothing bearing. And that's an option the residents can ask about when receiving a shade tree. Let me go to the next slide. It's just a nice picture of them getting their shade tree. One of the next landscaping options that we offer, which I'm not sure how feasible this would be in like Ward 6, only because I know that there's a lot of row homes in Ward 6, but for those single family homes, a lot of them could qualify for something like a rain garden where we bury the downspout and we pretty much size the amount of water that's coming out of the downspout to the rain garden. So if your downspout is draining 500 square feet worth of water, then you have a 50 square foot rain garden, 400 square feet, 40 square foot rain garden, and so on. This landscaping practice is a bowl-like garden, and it does have to go on completely flat areas. There's a lot of different requirements, like it has to be 2 feet away from the neighboring property line, at least 10 feet away from the foundation of the home. So probably a little bit rare that we'll see this in the area, but if possible, we will make that suggestion on a home. This is one of our landscaping practices. It is a one-time $100 copay. So that includes all the labor, the mulch, and a 1-year warranty on the plants. So if we do experience like any die out, we will come out and replace it within the first year. And then we can go down to past this page. This is a little bit about the rain garden. The next one that we offer is a bayscape, which is more likely we'll see a lot more of in the Ward 6 area. This is perfect for row homes or smaller yards. And it covers about 120 to 140 square feet worth of yards, so a little bit smaller than a parking spot. And this goes on sloped or heavily eroded areas. So areas that like have a lot of bare soil that's leading towards a retaining wall or a fence. And this can be closer to property lines too. So it's more like a one size fits all type of garden. But yeah, this is mainly for folks who experience slope or heavy ponding on their yard or just extremely eroded soil like what you see in that before picture. But yeah, this is our bayscape garden. This is also valued at $100 through our program and also includes the same benefits as the rain garden where we'll come in and install it and then replace it within the 1-year warranty if you ever experience any complications. And then we can go to the next. We can go past this as well. The last BMP that we offer is the permeable surface rebate or hardscape removal. This is also less likely to be seen in Ward 6. It might depend on where that resident falls on the line, but this is mostly for folks who live on that outer perimeter city in the MS4. So very rare that we'll see this in this area, but residents can still take advantage of having permeable surfaces on their property and registering it with our program. And that way they can receive a discount on their DC water bill. Essentially, residents have 2 options. You can remove the hardscape and replace it with vegetation, which you're not required to use any of our contractors for, or you can remove the hardscape and replace it with permeable pavers using one of the list of the people from our trusted contractors. And essentially it's a rebate program. So you will finish the whole project by yourself and then register with our program in order to receive money back 2 weeks after receiving the project. But this is again only for people who live within the MS4 or the municipal stormwater separate sewer system. You can try saying that 5 times fast. And but if you live in the combined sewer system, which most people in DC do, you do not qualify for the rebate. But again, I encourage people that if you do decide to replace a patio or driveway, you can always go through with some contractors on our end rather than moving back to asphalt or concrete. And then this is just a before and after with revegetation can look like for some residents, just replacing an asphalt driveway with a ribbon driveway. Yeah, those are some options. You can scroll down. That is about it. This kind of just goes into like fertilizers and like the care of your landscaping. But overall, I can drop some links into the chat. Our direct sign up link, which can be found at doe.dc.gov. Yeah, again, the program is completely voluntary. No one's required to sign up for it. There are major benefits to it, like help reducing stormwater runoff, but also the beautification of your yard. And once any of these practices are installed, residents automatically receive a discount on their DC water bill. So that's always pretty good.
Great. Thank you, Scott. This was very informative. Commissioners, any questions? Constituents on the line, any questions, comments? Great. Thank you again for your time and for joining us.
Thank you for
And
having me. Yeah, no
yeah,
problem.
of course. Have a good night. Great. So I think we can remake that motion. Commissioner Prince, would you like?
I move that we adjourn this evening's meeting.
And I second the motion. So Commissioner Prince moved, Commissioner Abukala seconded a motion to adjourn the March 27th, 2025 meeting. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye.
I
Commissioner Watts, I don't think I heard you. I heard an aye. Commissioner Rogers. So the motion moves with 4 ayes, 0 nays, and 1 none vote. We'll figure that out later, and 0 abstain. Thanks for joining us, and have a good night.
Thanks. Good night.